What's up, rock stars? It's Rox coming to you today with the review for The Sigh Season 3, Episode 5, I believe it is. So let's get to it, shall we? All right, you guys, now you ain't gonna believe this, but how about the show opens with Keisha getting a bath, okay? And I say getting a bath because somebody is giving it to her, and guess who it is? It's the track coach of all people. I said, ain't this about a bitch? Of course, she's in the tub, she's shivering, she's crying, and he's telling her how she was so dirty when he found her. She was dressed like a slut, but now he gonna make her clean. I said, this crazy ass nigga here, I guess that beatdown messed his head up. Later on, we see him feeding her, and he's telling her how he gotta make sure that she's good before daddy steps out tonight. I said, what the hell is going on here? But it's bad there. He has her locked in this room. There's cameras everywhere, you know, she cannot get away. And the camera follows her around the room, so he must have it like on some sort of remote or something. She's looking around trying to figure out how she can break out, and then it's really no way. So she gets up, gets her little pee pan and goes into the bathroom, and surprise, surprise, there's a camera there as well. When she sits down on the toilet, he is like right in her face, and he's saying on the camera, come on and smile for daddy. I said, boy, if you don't kill this girl, when this girl get away from you, you is really gonna get it. Guys, next we see Ronnie. Okay, it seems like the pastor has gotten them down to the beach. Child, why didn't know it was beaches in Chicago? I mean, I know we saw it last week, but it just didn't it didn't register in my mind that they actually have beaches in Chicago. Ashley, why you ain't told me that? I was just like, I mean, it's a full-blown beach. I was thinking maybe it was a lake last week. I don't know, child. But anyway, Ronnie is there. Okay, come on. I'm going to need y'all to give me a clap. Give me a clap. Take me to the water. Take me to the water. Take me to the water. To be baptized. It's hard to sing and keep the church clap going anyway. Ronnie is being baptized. Comes out of the water anew, I guess. All right, and the pastor is really trying to help him, okay? Cleans him up, gives him a pamphlet about a shelter that he could, you know, possibly look into going. It ain't safe out there on them streets. Ronnie is thankful for that, you know, and pastor say, well, he's his brother's keeper. And he even gives him a suit. All right, boy, that Ronnie looking good, okay? Sharp as a tack, like my grandmother used to say. Jumping over to Emmett, we see Emmett. He's at the shop. He's tired. Sonny is giving him a hard time about him not doing what he's supposed to do, you know, when he closes the place at night. But he's snapping at Sonny, and Sonny was like, boy, who the hell you think you talking to like that? And I'm sitting here watching this, and I'm going, why is it that nobody has told Sonny what's going on in his own damn restaurant, you know? As of right now, Sonny supposedly doesn't know. Anyway, Emmett is feeling pretty bummed about Keisha, the body that they found. Everything is really just a drag. Later on, he's with Lala. Again, what's her name? Y'all can tell me because I still know I ain't gonna remember. But anyway, he with Lala, and she's telling him how they need to tell Sonny, you know, what they're doing. And Emmett was like, no, it's still too soon. You know, he not gonna say nothing just yet. Let him handle it. Plus, he kind of feels like Sonny already knows, but he just want to stack some more paper so that when he decides to tell Sonny, he'll have some money to offer him for the rent. Okay, because I guess Sonny is falling, you know, is always constantly falling behind on the rent. So that is his plan. Okay, but we also see a little flirtatious talk between Lala and Emmett. You know, she calls him daddy. And he was just like, don't start nothing you can't finish. I said, boy, please don't get involved with the help. Jumping over to Jada, we see Jada. She is with her doctor boyfriend. Okay, looks like they're making a go of this whole thing. Walking down the street, looks like he's about to introduce her to his family. She's a little nervous about that. He's actually Latino. And so he has a Latino family, and you know, everybody seems to be cool. I mean, the mom walks up and she seems to be pretty nice to Jada. The brother comes up and he seems to be cool, but then her boyfriend walks off, and now it's just Jada with the mother and the son. So they sit down across from each other, and, you know, just kind of little small talk. And in the small talk, Jada finds out that her boyfriend had been married before, and she was just like thinking that he was still married, and they were like, no, she actually died, you know, some years ago. And she was like, oh, thank God. And then she was like, no, you know, I don't mean it like that, you know, she just means that he's not currently married. But, you know, the family in a semi-messy way go on to tell her about, you know, the boyfriend's deceased wife. And, you know, anyway, it's very uncomfortable for Jada because she didn't know. And the family is acting like they really, really loved this woman. So it puts Jada in a weird place. Then we see Trig. Okay, Trig is at the house. He's at the window looking out. Got his gun up, you know, his girl was like, what's with you and the whole Malcolm X thing going? Okay, don't worry about it, okay? His girl got her two friends over, Tracy, who is transgender, I'm supposing, and another gay guy, and she's fussing at Tracy because Tracy is going through, I guess, like some data nap or something, and she was just like, why are you always trying to look for trade? And I was just like, y'all told me that trade is not negative, but why does it always sound negative when people say it? Like, you know, trade always just want to, you know, fuck you and then go, you know, leave you behind or whatever she said. And I was just like, y'all told me trade ain't negative, but I'm telling you, it ain't really making it sound like trade is a positive word. Anyway, they got a social worker coming over, and she's coming over right now. Okay, so, oh shit, you guys gotta go. All right, I guess the social worker's doing like a surprise visit. So, you know, they smoking and shit, got the box of wine. So, you know, they got clear out the room and everything. And Tracy and the guy, they walk off down the hall. So Trig lets the lady in. Okay, and of course, you know, as the stereotypical social worker is, because I used to work with social workers, and they really, you know, I worked for DCFS too, and this lady was from DCFS, and I worked in the emergency response unit, and they really was not like this. It's just really frustrating sometimes on these TV shows how they make social workers seem like they the enemy and all. Anyway, the lady comes in, you know, she's all kind of looking around like, okay, who is this? You know, he says it's his wife. Why would you say it's your wife if you know in your paperwork you ain't said shit about this woman being your wife? Okay. And she was just like, your wife? And he was like, well, she's gonna be my wife. And she was like, okay, well then you single then, nigga, quit. Okay. So, you know, the lady is walking around, you know, what's this, what's that? And Trig, now I know you got sense enough to know that you got to play the game if you want to get your brother, right? No, he doesn't know that, obviously, because he was like, why the fuck we got to do this anyway? That's my blood brother. I ain't got to prove shit to you. Trig, I'm gonna need you to calm the fuck down, okay? The lady turned around and was like, you ain't got to be all hostile, okay? You the one lied on your paperwork. You need to tell them that you got somebody living here with you, okay? You need to fix this, that, and the other, okay? And when you do all of that, then I'm gonna be back in 2 weeks. Okay, it ain't got to be all like this. Trig, if you think you're gonna get your brother that way, baby, you got a whole nother thing coming. Then, you guys, let's jump over to the scene, I guess, that, you know, we had been hearing so much about. Child, they got the camera tight on Kandi's face, you know, and she's all strategizing, but you can tell the way she's talking, you know, oh, you know, oh, you gotta really work on the people down south, you know. Camille got the people up north, you know, in the bag. That gay thing is really working for her. You know, you really gotta use Jake more. And this, that, and the other, right? I'm just like, okay, obviously something is happening here. When the camera widens back, and we see dude down on his knees, child, facing the place. I said, oh. And she got her legs spread open, and he down there just going to town, okay? He trying to talk to her while she's strategizing. She's like, nope, keep it right there. I said, oh, Kandi, look at you. I have decided that Kandi is a much better actress than Lala, okay? I'm glad they didn't give Kandi that Dre, you know, character, because I think this one works out better for Kandi. All right, but anyway, ooh, stay right there. Come on, you know, he all doing all this. Then he jump up, he flip her around and push her on the table, and child, he working her from the back, just like boom, 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 boom. You know, she just like holding on, like, oh, this is good. I was like, all right, Kandi and Duda. And then, of course, when he finished, child, he finished strong like the emoticon. You know, he do his leg arm like, I said, that was good to you, huh, Mr. Otis? Then afterwards, you know, he asked her, did she want some pizza? And she says, hell yeah. I said, well, I mean, it is business, but it's a little bit of pleasure too, right? Jumping over to the kids, who are also at the pizza shop. Not sure if they there while all this is going on in the back, but Papa, Kev, and Jake are there. And looks like they're about to do something. They're waiting on what Jake finds out for Gemma to get there. And he was just like, Gemma's coming? Like, damn, if you would have told me that, I would have stayed home. And Kev was like, that's why I didn't tell you. Okay, but she texts Kev and says that she's there. And, you know, he gets up to meet her at the door, gives her a hug and everything. Jake is real annoyed about that. Okay, then we find out that Papa got Maisha coming. Papa and Kev moved on with their life. Jake ain't got no woman. You know, I was like, poor Jake, he in the Matrix right now. Like, what is going on? But anyway, the kids are going on a little outing today. They're going to go to a abandoned building, you know, that is supposedly haunted. Okay, so like kids do, they got their flashlights. They going up the stairs in this building, talking about the ghost that's supposedly there, you know. And then they go into this big room, and it's, you know, dusty and furniture and just, you know, dark, until Maisha turns the light back on. And then Gemma tells her to turn the light off because, you know, the lights, when the lights are off, that's when the ghosts supposedly come. And Jake was like, how you know? And she was like, well, obviously I know more than you. And I was just like, okay, Gemma. She's a lot, you guys. When Jake tells her to shut up, Kev was like, don't talk to her like that. Okay, then Papa tries to jump in and tries to smooth and calm the waters. You know, Maisha is proud of her man. Papa always coming in to save the day. He's the peacemaker of the group, right? So anyway, while the kids are in there fussing with each other and all, then there's the lights go back off, okay? But it's not just in the building, it's all over the city. So the kids run to another space in the building, and of course Maisha and Gemma, they get into a argument. When Gemma's trying to tell Maisha what to do, you know, Maisha tell her, shut up, bitch. And then Gemma was like, don't call me out my name. And now, you know, you got these two fussing and fighting. Papa jumps in and says, you know, we need to stop acting like crabs in a barrel, and we need to figure out how to get out of this building. Okay, I'm thinking to myself, like, go out the same way you came in, kids. How about that? They get to trying to figure out if they're going to call an Uber. Maisha said the Uber is really expensive right now. You know, they upcharging because of the blackout and all of that, the neighborhood or whatever. And then they were like, okay, we can just walk, you know, through this area and get on to here. You know, Gemma was saying that they can walk. And then Jake was like, fuck, I'm not walking through there. You know, I'm associated with 63rd Street. Like, I can't go through there. Kev knows that the area that they talking about going through ain't really the safest. But Gemma says that she not scared of her own people. So they was just like, okay, well, you know, rich girl, you welcome to go walk. And she says, okay, she gonna go walk through there. Okay, Kev, are you coming? He was just like, yeah. I said, oh, Kevin, you already, baby, you're going to be henpecked. You keep up with this. So Kevin and Gemma, they are walking down the street, you know, kind of getting haggled by, you know, niggas in the street. This is the neighborhood that they said wasn't the safest. You know, Gemma's like, I'm scared. Okay, you asked you to stay with the rest of the kids. You so ready to say that you're not afraid of your people. You don't know all your people, obviously. They walk up and they see the paper about the body that they found, and she was like, did you know her? And he was like, no, but they thought that she was Keisha for a second. I said, no, baby, Keisha is alive, and, well, not well, but she's alive, and she trying to get the hell up out of that basement. Papa and Maisha, they done made it out of the building, and they are now at the pizza place. You know, the perfect little boyfriend, probably a better match than Kev and Maisha would have been, so, you know, that's fine. I was looking at it, and Papa reminded me of this little boy that used to like Jada when Joe was in first grade, and he had a classmate, and Jada was like 4 and the little boy was like 6 years old. When we would go up to the school for like Joe's little events or whatever, the little boy would always come up to Jada and be like, hi, Jada, you know, and smile at her and all of that. And he was like a little chubby little boy like Papa was. And one time he came up to her and he pulled out some money out of his pocket and he gave it to her. He was like, that's all I got for now. Okay, but when I get some more, I'm going to give it to you. I was Like, little man already know how it works. You know, Jada looked at me and just kind of handed the money to me like, what I'm supposed to do with this? I said, girl, you gonna figure it out one day. But anyway, he finally asked her to go with him. And, you know, she was like, okay, I guess we boyfriend and girlfriend now. And then he was like, okay, do you want to celebrate that with a dance? And they get up. Now, why I realized that I actually like the kids is because Lena writes the kids as if they are 40-year-old people. I've now realized why I actually like these kids, okay? I'm looking at these kids dancing in this pizza parlor. First of all, they was not going to have that music playing if you got all these young kids there. Secondly, them kids was not going to be dancing to that music. That is not the type of dancing that all the kids that I know do. So I'm just sitting there looking like, Lena, girl. I mean, I know this was supposed to be a feel-good scene and all, and I can appreciate it for whatever it was, but I was just like, realistically, no. Now, Lala obviously must have hurt herself while she was cooking when the blackout happened. So Emmett is trying to, tend to her, and they decide that they just gonna continue to cook out, outside. It's still a demand for the food, okay? They don't need electricity to do some smoking. They can just smoke the meat. I don't know what else we doing. Everybody just fucking eating meat around here. I mean, we don't have no sides or nothing. I mean, I guess it's gonna be carrots and celery the whole time. So anyway, okay, we gonna smoke the meat. Let's make this money. So they go outside and everything is doing well, and everybody in the neighborhood seem to be at Sonny's spot. Okay, and then Lala tells Emmett that she's run out of meat. He was like, what? She was like, nigga, I told you a long time ago that we was about to run out. Okay, well, Emmett is gonna handle it. I guess Emmett then got some more meat. Lala out there on the grill trying to get the food done. Well, she does have corn on the cob out there, so I was like, okay, chicken and corn on the cob. While she's cooking, she sees Emmett over there talking to some woman, so she goes over there. I'm thinking she's jealous at first, or like maybe thinking that he's just fucking around and ain't doing his job. And so she pulls him away and like, excuse me, can I talk to him for a second? And she was like, don't be talking to that girl. That girl has a blog, and do you know she goes around to everybody's restaurant and tests the food and all of that, and then writes about it on her blog. And Emmett was like, okay, well, what's the problem then? And she was just like, I don't want her tasting my food. You know, she's not really confident in how her food tastes, even though you got all these people here, okay, and people usually don't spend their money for food that's not good. So, you know, she just don't feel it, you know, but Emmett is just like, well, what's the problem? You know what? I'm gonna go on and make her a plate and give it to her. That's probably gonna help Emmett in the long run. And why do I say that? Because as the night goes on, who shows up at the damn place but Sonny himself? Emmett looking like the cat that got pulled through the keyhole. Okay, just real nervous and afraid. And I'm thinking to myself, like, why are you afraid when you just said earlier that you felt like Sonny already knew? Sonny was just like, you know what, I thought you was gonna be a man and tell me about what's going on. Okay, I didn't gave you plenty of opportunities to tell me. You never wanted to say anything. I treated you like a son. You know, I respected you. I gave you a chance. I would hope that you would just talk to me as a man, but you can't even do that, can you? What do you have to say for yourself? I was like, this is the time for Emmett to say, well, I was trying to get some more money so that I can offer the money to you to help out on the rent. Okay, motherfuckers always listen when his finances involved. So, you know, he just sitting there looking at Sonny, and Sonny was like, I didn't think so. Okay, clear out this place and get the fuck off my establishment. Why you didn't say nothing? But like I said, I feel like the fact that he gave that food critic the sample plate, that's probably going to help, because she's probably going to write up a good review in the paper, and then Sonny is going to, you know, if Sonny can swallow his pride, he'll probably pull Lala in and Emmett, and then they'll have something that's going there. So now jumping back to Jada at the cookout. Okay, now it's the blackout is happening. She had to go in the house because she's overwhelmed by what's going on with boyfriend's family. Okay, she puts Ayanla on her phone, you know, has positive self-talk. You know, I am somebody. I deserve to be loved. I deserve to be this. I deserve to be that. And she says that she also deserves to have a boyfriend whose family is not crazy. I said, well, the family is really not crazy. You know, that family was cool. Yeah, they did tell her about the ex-wife, or the wife who died, but, you know, I've seen way worse families, you know, so really the problem should have been with her boyfriend, who hadn't told her anything. At least talk to the boyfriend and don't write him off just yet. So when they leave, she asks him, like, when were you going to tell me about your wife? And he says, I just didn't feel like it was time yet. I didn't want to freak you out. And she said, I did freak out. I had a panic attack in the bathroom. I had to get myself together. He apologizes to her and he just tells her how much he really likes her and that he feels like he is getting a second chance. He feels like his dead wife would want him to go and find somebody else and have a second chance at love. And she was just like, well, have you? And he says, well, let's see how the rest of the day goes. Okay, and they do a little canoodling there on the street. I was just like, oh, okay, Jada. I mean, I guess you and old Latino is gonna be a couple, I guess. Now, jumping back over to Ronnie. Ronnie's at the church, and I guess we done got rid of Common, huh? We done decided not to go the Muslim route, and we gonna take it on the Christian route, I guess. So anyway, the church lady is telling Ronnie how good he looks. Pastor done cleaned him up, like I said, sharp as a tack. There's a whole bunch of people around, but they not gonna let this blackout stop they praise. What a fellowship, what a joy divine, leaning on the everlasting arms. What a bliss. Look, it ain't even Sunday, and y'all done got 2 gospel songs out of me. While they're over there singing, Ronnie is feeling pretty good. He's like, this was my grandmother's favorite hymn. And speaking of old granny, he better go check on her, considering this is blackout and everything going on. So he take it on down to the nursing home, and he walk in, and he's just like, grandmother, where are you? Grandma, is anybody here? Grandma, help! Can somebody help me? The nurse come, and she was just like, what? He was like, where is my grandmother? She's like, I don't know. Okay, I just came on the shift. I ain't seen the lady. Oh, why she say that? Ronnie, where is she? I said, Ronnie, come on now. Y'all know Ronnie ain't wrapped the most tight. So we don't need him to get excited about that. We just need to locate Granny. As mean as she is, ain't nobody took her. I know that much. But it's not really a laughing matter. Granny is, she's dementia or Alzheimer's, whatever it is that she has. She has wandered off, and she is on the street, and she's banging on some door, okay? Luckily enough, a passerby who knew her stops and says, Miss Ethel, is that you? And she was just like, I need to get in here. My judge shows is about to come on. I must have left my keys. And he's just like, come on, Miss Ethel, let me help you, okay? She don't want him to help her, all right? She don't really know who he is. She probably did at one time, but she doesn't remember. So the guy does whatever he has to do to find Ronnie and let Ronnie know that he has Miss Ethel. Ronnie finally come up with his basket, and he's like, thanks, man. He was trying to kidnap me. You made me miss my judges. But later on, as she sits there with Ronnie, she gets back on track, and she actually remembers who he is. Oh, you remember me now? I always remember you. You've been having him since he was a baby. Mama, I got baptized today. And she says, baptized? You already got baptized. And he didn't remember. She said, yeah, you got baptized, because your mother was a whore and your father wasn't shit. So I knew that I had to get you baptized so that God would always look over you. I said, well, damn, a whore? Which one of them was her kids? You gonna say it like it is, huh, Miss Ethel? He was surprised about that. He didn't know that. She asked him, is Keisha still missing? And he said yes. And then she was just like, that's all right. You'll find her. I said, oh, look at Granny. She didn't gave him a mission. I think Ronnie already felt like that was his mission. Yeah, Ronnie, don't worry about it. You gonna find her. Jumping over to Trig. Trig catches this girl she's packing, okay? She don't want to be a burden to Trig, keep him from getting Jake. He says, I'm just gonna put on the paperwork that you were here and it's not gonna be no problem. She was just like, you don't know everything about me. And he was just like, I know, you had some petty theft and this, that, and the other. And she was just like, no, when she was younger, she had a father who wanted a son, got this daughter. Okay, she was a daughter on the inside anyway, and I guess the father caught her cross-dressing one day and was gonna beat her ass, and they got into it, and she said she knew that it was either gonna be him or her, so she shot and killed her father. Okay, Trig was like, and did you do time for it? And she was just like, no, because the police knew what it was when they came. They saw bruises all over her, and she didn't have to do any time. But she still has the record, and, you know, she don't want that. There ain't no DCFS gonna give Jake to somebody with a person that has that on their record. Trig says he don't care and he need her. And, you know, they gonna get Jake, so don't worry about it. You know, he is pretty much willing to risk it all because he loves this girl so much. Okay, back at the pizza place, Mr. Otis Perry is talking to his team. Okay, the blackout is a perfect opportunity for them to be there for the community. Okay, we need the teams to get together. We need to get them some food, get the pizzas out there. You know, make sure you got flashlights, water, whatever the people need. Y'all know you do this, you do that, you do. Okay, he is delegating. Okay, he's in his element right now. Kandi watching from afar. Compassionate and dependable will make for a good story. He was like, that's right, and you make sure that I get on that front page. And she was like, oh, I got you. Later on, after a job well done, okay, a day of helping his fellow man, he's sitting in his office, and he's got Jake in there with him. And Jake is telling them how, you know, him and his friends was out. They had went to a haunted house that day. You know, they was scared. And, you know, Doodah was kind of laughing to himself. He's like, oh, yeah, kind of remembering the days when he used to have that kind of fun. Looks like we might have a father-son moment here. Otis gets up and puts his favorite jazz album on, okay? And it's an actual album. Jake was like, is that same guy that you always listen to? And he was like, well, if I always listen to him, why you don't remember his name? You know, it looks like he's about to be like, son, let me tell you, you know, the facts of life. He tells him that it was a Chicago legend, and Jake can appreciate it as well. And then he gets a call or a text message, and, you know, he's like, oh, I gotta go be somewhere. And Jake was like, well, can I come with you? And he was just like, yes, son, come on. You know, puts on his jacket. And he goes outside to the alley and he sees the security then hemmed up some boy out there who was spray painting on his Otis Perry for mayor signs. Otis was like, okay, no, let him go. Unhand him. Okay, so security lets the boy go, and Jake is watching from the door. And Otis says, okay, so I'm sorry about that. Okay. You know, what seems to be the problem here? Why are you spray painting the signs? The man says, no disrespect, but you ain't no Harold Washington. I don't know who Harold Washington is, but I suppose he means a whole lot to Chicago. Okay. And Otis Perry was just like, I don't think I heard you correctly. Okay. Took off his jacket. He was just like, now, what is it that you just said again? And the man was just like, well, you ain't know it, y'all. That's all he could get out because, honey, that Doodah beat his ass. Now we got Doodah, okay? You wanted Doodah, you got Doodah. So he beat his ass, and Jake is standing from the doorway watching this whole thing, and Jake is shocked or afraid. And I'm thinking to myself, that would make sense if Jake was not a full-blown brother of a full-time, big-time gangster who got killed by gun violence just last season, who calls his own self a gangster for the last 2 seasons. You knew that your brother worked for Otis Perry or for Doodah. So why is he acting like he's so shocked that Doodah just beat this man's ass? I mean, you had to know that he had it in him, but like I said, Lena then wrote it so that Jake is now looking like, oh my God, not the mayor is doing this, okay? And now Jake is so upset he takes off running. He runs all the way to Trig's house. You know, Trig opens the door. What's the matter? Why are you sweating? You know, he's like, oh, I ran all the way here. You know, that dude on some bullshit over there. And Trig was just like, don't worry about it. You know, you can stay here. You'll be safe. I'm thinking to myself, like, where are the fucking investigators? Where are the police? Where are all the people that was following Doodah for the last season at least? Why we don't have none of them on the show anymore? It makes no sense. Doodah out here running the fuck amok, beating people's asses in alleyways and whatnots. I'm just like sitting here like, oh, just this show. I just wish they would bring some of the things back that made more sense. You guys, okay, I'm gonna stop complaining. Jumping over to Keisha, lastly. Keisha trying to look around, she can't get out. It's just no way. Okay, we know the track coach ain't there. Okay, daddy, if you will, is not there. And so she's just has a breakdown. She starts throwing shit around, you know, she crying, she's screaming, and then she sees something that can help maybe her get out. All right. So she picks it up and she tries to jam the door so that she can get out the room that she's in, and she kicks and kicks and kicks, and finally the door jam breaks and the door opens. Okay, but there's another door that she has to get to, so she runs up those stairs, and then she's trying to get out that door. That door leads outside of the building altogether. At the same time, we see Ronnie walking down the street, just walking, minding his own business with his flashlight. At the same time, Keisha, she trying to bust out the room, bust out of the house, and she does bust out, and child falls down on the ground outside like, oh my God, I'm so happy. Girl, you cannot afford, nor do you have the time to sit there and kiss the ground that you just saw. You better fucking hightail it out of there. Why are you stopping? You know that man is coming. It's a blackout. All of this shit going on. He can't see on his cameras what's going on. He is on his way back. Okay? And sure enough, he come running out the house and he grab her. She starts screaming and Ronnie hears it. And he was like, Keisha. Then the show goes off. But I was thinking to myself, like, girl, you was supposed to bust out that door and keep fucking running. You are a track star. Why are you sitting there? Oh my God. I was just like, girl, once you was free, honey, you should have ran like you know, a fucking freed slave. Because that's what you were. And so I just was like, okay. But Ronnie heard her, and like Ronnie Grandma said, she knows that he's gonna find her. So as long as he can get there in time, I think Keisha gonna be all right. All right, you guys, I'm just frustrated with the show. I mean, it's just a different show, and I think once I can just accept that, then I mean, maybe I can just move it on along. But I just was like, it's just so different. And again, I'm gonna blame Jason Mitchell. He fucked it all up. Anyway, you guys, let me get off of here. Still about to do P-Valley. Okay, make sure that you rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel. itsrox. The channel is for itsrox. Everything else I do will be in the bottom bar. All right. So I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, and I plan on doing the same. Till next time, rock stars. Bye.